Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsyreplays. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to be looking at the FE215B, the Tier 10 British heavy tank. Now, this tank is a pro man's tank. Honestly, there's some tanks out there which I've already stated a long time ago about the E100 about being a noob man's tank, because basically most people that drive a E100 is a noob. They don't know how to play it. They play it wrong. However, the same can be said for the FE215B. Now, this tank, where I say is a pro man's tank, when you play this tank correctly, it is absolutely insane, and really only pro players know how to play this tank correctly. It's a hard tank to play, it really is, but when you play it right, then oh my god, what a tank this can actually be. Now, the turret is pretty strong, 264 and 140 on your hull, so not so strong on your hull, and of course it is a rear turreted tank as well, which makes it just a little bit more difficult to play. Your DPM, pretty decent DPM at 3000. That is with running calibrated shells, and that is just a 7.98 second reload. 280 pen on your AP, 342 on your APCR, and 184, of course, on your HESH. I like that because it has HESH. It also has APCR. It hasn't got AP then HESH. So I do love that. I love the fact that it's got high HE pen along with the high APCR pen. So very, very good. You've got a 400 alpha gun, 340 on your APCR, and 515 on your HESH. Your aim time is pretty decent at 2.9, the same as your gun dispersion at 0.257. Very, very good. And you have 7 degrees of gun depression with a top speed of 40 kilometers per hour. So we're going to get into a game. Now, I'm not the best. I love the tank, don't get me wrong, I do really love the tank, but I'm not the best at playing the FE215B. Now, wargaming recently, I think it's a couple of years ago now, they've done a secret event with the 215B, where you can get this camouflage, the octopus camouflage, but blue. And it was basically called the Octopus X. So if you see anyone driving the FE215B Octopus X, they should be a good player, because at the time they done this event, it was honestly almost impossible to get an ace on this tank. Now, basically, to get the camouflage, you needed 5 mastery badges in that time frame, and honestly, it made the tank. I was getting 1650 sort of XP, which is normally enough to ace anything. It wasn't even enough for a first class. Like it was impossible. It was almost impossible, unless you do sort of 8,000, 9,000 damage. At that time, it was almost impossible to get the mastery badge. Now, even though it was a good event, you know, I like wargaming doing them secret events for secret camouflages. What I didn't like is the time frame. I wish, why put a time frame on it? Why not just keep it as it is? Because it at least gives other people an opportunity to get the Octopus X, where it only gave the pros, literally. I know it's good. I mean, yeah, if you got the Octopus X, it probably means you're a pro, where over time, eventually everyone can get the Octopus X, but it was never made for a pro camo. It was never like a pro camo. If you wanted a pro camo, you go tournaments, etc. You win a tournament or whatever. So I do wish that they did leave it hanging and not sort of give it that time frame, so you can get the 5 mastery badges whenever you want, and then as soon as you get the 5th mastery badge, you get the camo, you know. And again, it was a secret sort of mission, so they didn't need to advertise it at all. Just keep it going and not tell anyone, and once you get that 5th in your garage, you've got a camouflage. So yeah, that is a shame, but it is what it is. I've got the octopus. I like this camouflage as it is, but yeah, it's like I said, it's a very tough tank to play. Very, very tough. You need to get on a ridge because of the turret, but then it's hard when you get on the ridge because you haven't got the gun depression, because you're the rear turreted tank. It's very, very, very difficult, and to get your gun depression, you kind of got to look sidewards. Then your armor becomes quite weak. So yeah, it is a tough tank. It's a tough cookie, but when you get this tank going, it is a very, very strong tank. Now, easily there's 1600 block damage, and we do manage to get 3.5k damage. Moving on to the next game. So here we are on Yamato Harbor. Now, again, the way to play this tank, it's quite difficult to explain how to play this tank because it's so difficult. You can't just roll up on a ridge because you're never going to be able to get your shot off. Like, you can't just go on a ridge. There's ways to do it. There's angles to do it. And that's why I always say it is a pro man's tank, because only pros will know how to play this tank. And it's when you come up against this tank, when a pro is playing it, honestly, it's very difficult to deal with, because they'll know what positions to get in. They'll know exactly what positions to get in. And like here, like to get my shot on the WZ, I've got to go in at an angle to be able to get my gun down. But if he was looking at me, he would then be able to shoot my sides. So it's frustrating. It really is frustrating. But it used to be a very popular tank, especially when it comes to sort of tournaments as well. It was quite popular when it comes to tournaments. But yeah, it's got good DPM. You know, the speed, the stat wise on the tank is pretty decent. You know, there's nothing too much wrong with the tank. But it's honestly, the only thing that I can say about the tank is knowing how to play it, positioning, everything like that. If you know all that, if you learn how to play a rear turreted tank, then yeah, you should be able to learn this. But it's not going to be easy. It's not an easy tank to learn, which is again why I always say it's a pro man's tank. Honestly, that's all I can say about the tank. It is a pro man's tank. You get a noob playing this tank, it is very, very easy to deal with. And again here, to get the shot on the AMX-50B on the ridge, we have to go up sideways to be able to get our gun down. What I love about the tank most, of course, now is the hesh. It does have the higher hesh pen, which is very nice. Honestly, you can pen a lot of things. This XM66F, for example, he's going to turn. Can we penetrate him with hesh? Are we going to try? Let's do it. Again, we get over 500 damage. So if you can get that hesh out, I really, really recommend. And you can see there with the accuracy, we're moving, we're going down a ridge, we're bumping about, and we still manage to snapshot that T57 heavy. And again, let's go again. That time, not so lucky. But at this point, there's just 2 tanks left alive. We are losing on supremacy points. Now, I'm going forward at this point because I know he's on a reload. I want to get as much damage as I possibly can, because at this point, I don't want to lose on supremacy points. Luckily, I do have a little bit of help. I can take a magazine from this guy, so I'm not overly too bothered at this point. And again, you can see 1450 blocked damage. So the armor can work. When you're in the right position, the armor profile on this tank really can work. And before you know it, 4.5k damage. Again, 1450 block damage. Unfortunately, I do miss this shot here. I'm saying the accuracy is great, but yeah, I should have really aimed a little bit better to get that shot off on the Kranvagn. But never mind, the T110 E5 is going to get the kill and get us the victory. So overall, 1860 block damage, 4.5k damage. And yeah, let me know what you think of the FV215B. Do you know how to play it? Are you decent at playing it? Let me know in the comments below. But for now, hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm meadsy69, and I will catch you all soon. Bye bye.